Crazy Sea Stories. The Ones Who Wait Outside. Part 1. The Road That Shouldn't Exist. The road wasn't on any map. Ethan had checked 3 times before he left. Google Maps, an old county atlas, even a paper brochure from the local tourism office. Not a single one marked the narrow strip of cracked asphalt that wound into the woods north of Barrows Hollow. He found it by accident, driving home from a weekend hiking trip, when a thick fog rolled across the road like a living thing. His GPS sputtered, lost its signal, and when the white veil thinned just enough, the road was there. It curved sharply away from the main highway and vanished under a canopy of black-barked trees. He should have kept driving. He didn't. Ethan's father had once told him that some roads don't take you anywhere, they take you away from everywhere else. At the time, Ethan had laughed. But as he turned onto the cracked asphalt and the forest swallowed the last of the sunlight, he remembered those words with a strange tightness in his chest. The trees seemed wrong, too tall, too thin, their trunks twisting at odd angles, their branches like skeletal hands. And the deeper he drove, the more the forest seemed to lean inward, crowding the road, blocking the sky entirely. That's when he saw the house. The house in the hollow. It rose out of the darkness like something pulled from a nightmare. 3 stories tall, its roof pitched at crooked angles, shingles missing in jagged patches. Thick ropes of black ivy crawled up its walls, clutching the wood like a parasite. The windows were hollow, gaping like the eye sockets of a skull. The house sat at the end of the road, surrounded by a clearing of dead earth. No grass, no leaves, just a barren circle, as if the soil itself had been scorched. His headlights caught movement, shapes. They stood just beyond the glow figures, tall and unmoving. They were human-shaped, but there was something off about their proportions. Their arms hung too low, their necks too stiff, their shadows too sharp. Ethan slowed to a crawl. His car's engine rattled in the stillness. None of the figures moved, but he had the sickening sense they were all looking directly at him. He rolled down the window an inch. The air that seeped in was too cold for early autumn, and carried a faint smell, like wet stone and something coppery beneath it. That's when one of them stepped forward. Part 3: The Invitation. It was a woman, or at least she wore the shape of one. Her face was pale, her mouth too wide. Her eyes were black pits, and in the dim glow of his headlights, Ethan saw they were not empty. Something inside them shimmered faintly, like oil on water. She raised her hand, palm out, in a gesture that could have been a greeting or a command. "You came." The words didn't come from her mouth. They were in his head, cold and sharp as ice water. Ethan jerked back, slamming the window shut, fumbling for the gear shift. But his car wouldn't move. The engine was still running, the gas pedal still pressed under his foot, but the tires refused to roll, as if the road beneath him had hardened into stone. "You came," the voice repeated. This time it wasn't just hers. All 8 figures were speaking at once, their voices threading together in a low, echoing chorus that made his teeth ache. The woman pointed toward the house, and the front door creaked open. Inside the dark, it felt like walking into a place that had been abandoned for centuries, except not. The air was thick, warm, almost damp. The floorboards groaned under his weight, but the sound didn't echo. It was swallowed, as if the house itself refused to let sound escape. The hallway stretched longer than it should have. Doors lined the walls, all closed. Some of them had faint scratches, as if something had tried to claw its way out. The figures followed him inside, keeping their distance but never breaking their circle around him. He couldn't see their faces anymore. Just the suggestion of pale skin and sharp, unnatural outlines. At the far end of the hallway, a staircase rose into darkness. Something moved at the top. He heard it before he saw it. A sound like a wet rope dragging across wood. Then, 2 hands appeared on the banister. Too many fingers. Too long. The thing's body followed, folding itself into view in slow, deliberate motions. Its head tilting at unnatural angles as it regarded him. "You will take the place," it said. Its voice wasn't in his head. It was in the walls, the floor, the air itself. The exchange. The figures closed in now. Their bodies seemed to ripple, their shapes blurring like heat haze. Ethan backed away, but the woman, if it was a woman, stepped forward again. "You came," she said a third time. And now he understood. It wasn't an observation. It was a verdict. The thing on the stairs descended, one joint at a time, until it stood inches from him. Its skin was gray, stretched too thin over bones that didn't match human anatomy. Where its eyes should have been were holes, deep and pulsing faintly. It reached out, touched his chest. Ethan's breath hitched. His body went rigid. His vision swam, and for a moment he saw not the house, not the figures, but something beneath it all. A vast black pit, shapes moving in it, eyes opening in the dark. When he blinked, he was no longer standing. He was looking down at himself from inside one of the figures. Part 6. The New One. The others stepped back, making room in their silent circle. The thing that had been Ethan stood still for a long moment, then turned to face the door. It walked out into the clearing, joining the ring of watchers. Inside, the front door creaked shut. The road outside was empty. Somewhere far away, a car slowed as it passed a turnoff into the woods. And in the clearing, 9 figures waited. Crazy Sea Stories. If you like these stories, subscribe for more.